Hello again, and welcome to Leadership Through Partnership, a program presented by the Lorain County Commissioners. I'm Craig Adams from AM 930 WEOL Radio. With me today, Lorain County Commissioner Matt Lundy. Matt, thank you for being with us.
Matt, always good to see you, Craig.
And a special hello to Kristen Bauer behind the camera for the Chronicle Telegram. Matt, let's talk about manufacturing today. It has a great history here in Lorain County.
Right.
Some people think, well, maybe it's not what it used to be, but it is still fairly alive and strong here. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think there is the perception that manufacturing's not what it used to be, but the reality is that manufacturing has evolved as technology has evolved, and technology has been applied to manufacturing. I guess the best example I give to people all the time is when I've had the chance to visit the Ohio truck plant, in Avon Lake, the Ohio Ford plant, that you'll see workers working right beside technology and robotics that actually install components of the car. And then you'll see the manual application, the old manufacturing application of building the cars. But so it has evolved over time, but manufacturing is still a very critical part of Lorain County. We estimate that there's probably over 17,000 individuals that are still working in manufacturing here in Lorain County, and it probably makes up about 20% of the workforce in Lorain County. So manufacturing is still an important part, and we like to tell people all the time that we have highly skilled workers. We have a good work ethic here in Lorain County. You tell us what you want to build, and we will build it. Just bring it here.
We've heard stories, though, that it's sometimes hard to find those workers. How would you describe the situation?
Well, I guess the easiest thing to point to is probably some of the national numbers, because there's what we always refer to as the skills gap. And the skills gap is something that you hear over and over again and again when it comes to economic development, when it comes to job training, and when it comes to the manufacturing industry. A national number alone here that I'm citing from the National Association of Manufacturers says over the next decade, nearly 3.5 million manufacturing jobs will likely be needed. 3.5 million over the next decade. 2 million are expected to go unfilled due to the skills gap. We're blessed in this county, however, where the community college is constantly reaching out to businesses, and we're constantly having those conversations with businesses through our economic development, through Jobs Ohio, talking to them, simply saying that if there are certain skills that you feel like your workers are going to need months down the road, years down the road, or that they need to basically come into the workforce, the community college is available for that. And obviously, working through our workforce development, there are dollars that are available for individuals to train and retrain so that they can fill those jobs. But what's the line? It's not your father's Oldsmobile or whatever it may be.
Right.
Manufacturing has changed, and it is more technology driven nowadays.
What kind of things can the Lorain County Commissioners do to sort of drive the effort?
Well, I think when it comes to driving the effort, as I stated earlier, it all comes down to working closely with employers in the community. We're constantly discussing with our manufacturers in the community what are the jobs that you're needing in the future and needing training, so we can work through workforce development with that. And can we provide, and in some cases, can we provide, abatement opportunities, because you need to be able to invest more money so you can actually grow your business. And I'd just like to refer to, and I want to make sure I got the right numbers here, that's why I'm reaching for this document, but through our Tax Incentive Review Council, we've done an abatement with a number of manufacturers here in the county, and I'm pleased to report we've had some really good results too. There's a real property and personal property investments that businesses step up to make, and I can tell you that on the real property front, the businesses that we were able to provide abatement to over the past couple years, were making a promise of over $30 million of investment. It ended up being $50 million of investment. And then when we talk about personal property, the difference there with personal property, that's something you can actually move. so we could move these microphones.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to real property, it's the land that this building sits on, and you can't exactly move the building, move the land. But for the personal property promised, that was around $35 million. And actually, it's turned out to be $59 million. So we've exceeded both of those. But the number that the public is always most concerned about is, okay, what's that mean in the way of jobs, right?
Right.
So the jobs that were promised were actually 133, and we ended up with the creation of 308 jobs. So that's an idea of the direction that things are going. But I think what's also important to point out is through these initiatives, some of these numbers I think you'll find interesting is that from 2014 through 2017, these are the latest numbers that we have. The investment is $527 million being invested in manufacturing within the county between those years, 2014 through 2017. Job creation, 1,287, so over 1,200 jobs. New payroll, which is always significant, $77 million. And then the part that I always stress to people over and over again is that everybody talks about bringing in the new jobs, but you got to keep the jobs that you already have. You don't want to lose those jobs. And so when we talk about job retention, we feel that we've been able to retain around 3,900, close to 4,000 jobs we've been able to retain here in Lorain County as a result of things that we've been doing. And our retained payroll, $247 million. So, those are dollars that could have been lost if those jobs were not retained and kept here in Lorain County.
October is Manufacturing Month nationwide, and I know locally there's an effort underway. I believe it's October 5th at Riddell in North Ridgeville. We've been fortunate to have been part of this for the past couple of years, broadcasting from the event itself. Tell us what we can expect here at Riddell.
Yeah, well, I remember, I think, literally in this building at the Chronicle Telegram where we're taping right now. You folks were live with your broadcast. I thought was that 2 years ago? Maybe 2 or 3
Don't
years
recall.
ago? Okay. But you're a busy man. These broadcasts all kind of
We've
come
been to a
together.
number of these, and it's always
But-
interesting to go into a
yeah.
place, whether it's here at the newspaper
Right.
or a manufacturing plant, to see something new, see something created that
right.
you have no idea maybe even existed.
Well, and even the printing of newspapers has changed tremendously,
Sure.
the whole industry, and obviously this one now is going to be at Riddell. I always go in hoping we're going to get football helmets. We never get football helmets. Of course, I couldn't take the football helmet anyhow.
Well, they make the helmets and much more there.
Right,
It's
exactly.
a huge facility.
It is. But this one is going to be October 5th. That'll be the kickoff event, and it is being hosted by Riddell at their new offices in North Ridgeville. Now, we all drive by and we know that they're on Center Ridge Road, but actually the official address is on Performance Lane, is the actual road that cuts off there where the new building is. I know a lot of folks want to see that, and I can tell you that we were very pleased that we were able to work together and to have the business, stay in Lorain County, which is very important. And I know my wife and I were just talking about that the other night when we were watching the football game, saying, doesn't it make you feel good when you see that Riddell name, on those football helmets? And but that is going to be October 5th. I think everything starts around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I understand the guest speaker, I think, is going to be the actual CFO for Riddell, who will be the speaker. And of course, WEOL will be broadcasting live from that location. But this is something that's been going on for a number of years now. I think the Manufacturing Month inception was back to 2014, and October is designated Manufacturing Month, the national event to really highlight the importance of manufacturing. And I just can't say enough about when you look at manufacturing, you have to understand that it's not what it used to be. It has changed a lot. There's still that manual application, but now there's a lot of that digital influence that has gone along with it, the technology and the automation. So it's not what manufacturing used to be.
Beyond the kickoff there at Riddell, any other programs set for the month of October?
Well, I know that there's going to be a program. It's not actually in October, but there's going to be a program that'll come up in May. But before I get to that, I think it's important to point out that there will be a lot of programming that'll be done reaching out and going into the schools. and going out into the schools and actually talking to the students and making the students aware that there are a lot of occupations that are available in manufacturing. You know, a lot of folks think that, you know, you're going to go into an environment and, you know, things may be a little dirty and dusty and those types of things, but manufacturing has evolved and changed so much that that's not always the case. There's still a lot of hard work that needs to be done, but I just decided I'd, you know, take a look at what's considered to be some of the manufacturing jobs of the future. And these are the types of things that when we reach out to the students and we talk to them about them, some of the jobs are described as a digital manufacturing chief technology officer, a digital manufacturing analyst, a machine learning specialist, a digital twin architect, a collaborative robotics specialist. I don't think they'll be hiring me for one of these jobs.
Maybe we could be twin architects, I don't know.
But this, you know, it's important to tell the students that, you know, these kinds of jobs are available in manufacturing. So please take a look at manufacturing as an opportunity. And as the national numbers show, there's a skills gap there and a lot of jobs that are going to go unfilled. And on average, currently, about $58,000 is what someone can make in a good manufacturing job in Ohio.
Well, let's talk, one last thing,
Okay.
the In-Demand Jobs Week. You mentioned something
Right.
coming up in May. That's what's coming up in May.
Right.
What is that?
Okay, that's the one where we're actually going to have a conversation about the careers and the jobs that are available in May that, as you stated, are in demand. And that's going to be in conjunction with our growth partnership. And we're going to bring the students in and basically, I guess, go through a lot of the jobs that I just described to you
Okay.
that are technology driven and automation driven, and try to see if students are interested in those. And you know, the list is constantly evolving and changing, and what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to show them that there are pathways to those jobs, and to get to those jobs, this is the type of education you're going to need. But the big thing we're blessed with in the county is, you know, we have Lorain County Community College, and the college is constantly saying, we are here to help our businesses, help our manufacturers, but you have to communicate with us. You have to tell us what your needs are and what you want your workforce to look like. And then with workforce development, we have training dollars available. A lot of folks don't realize you can get into workforce development programming where there's training dollars that can be anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 a year, you know, to transition and change and adapt to the changing marketplace. So we're just really blessed to have the community college. Obviously, the JVS provides a lot of, you know, this skills training too. And so we've got the right items in place. It's just a matter of the businesses and manufacturing communicating on what those changes need to be.
Our guest today has been Lorain County Commissioner Matt Lundy. Matt, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Craig.
And telling us more about Manufacturing Month and what is offered here in Lorain County. This has been Leadership Through Partnership. I'm Craig Adams.